in some other videos, we've talked a little bit about the changes, but and told you that Holly and I have been friends since 2000. We started out in 2000, and that was when she sold her first book. I didn't sell my first one until a couple years after that, but in 18 years, we have seen a lot of change, and I would say more of it has happened in like the last 5 years, don't you think?
Yeah, just tremendous. I mean, I was talking the other day online about all the ways you can read my books. You can pick up a paperback, you can pick up a hardback, you can pick up an ebook, you can pick up an audiobook. My books have been translated to more than 25 languages, so if you read another language, I probably have a book out there for you. I've also had books that go into the manga, the cartoon stories. I just had 2 last year that went that way, which is cool. They're in Japanese, so I cannot read them. What was it, Korean? I take that back. Japanese and Korean last year. But I can look at the pictures. I'm like, oh, I know what scene that is. Or, oh, I love that. The geek in me just totally explodes when one of those come out. So, but those are all ways you can read my books. And when I started, literally it was paperback.
Mass market paperback. You picked it up at Walmart or Wegmans, the grocery stores.
And we had the Walden books in the mall that was so good to me.
That's one of the sad things to me as a book lover is the number of bookstores that we've lost. On the other hand, we have gained, because I have to confess, I love the ability to buy an ebook and immediately get it. And I love the ability to have a bunch of books on my phone, so I never have to be without reading material ever anymore.
Oh, and that's another one I'm just starting with, so I don't know much at all, but reading on your phone is a thing. My youngest reads on her phone all the time, so it's that vertical sort of reading. There's a new app you can look up called Radish, pick it from your garden.
The vegetable.
Yes, Radish Fiction, I think. So you can find the app on wherever you buy your apps, and it's really a cool concept. You can read the first couple episodes, not chapters. They're 1,500 to 3,000 words each. That's like 7 to 10 minutes worth of reading. So you read by episode. The first few are always free. It just depends on how you set it up, and then you pay coins. If you get the coins on sale, what you're paying depends, I guess.
Oh,
but because you can buy like bulk of coins and it costs you less.
Okay.
So then, if you like a story, the hope is you like it enough that you pay the coins to read the next chapters you pay for.
Okay, so it's a serial.
It's serialized
serial.
fiction.
Okay.
And I just was blogging about that the other day. I had,
and yet that's everything old is new again, because serialized fiction goes back
in
forever.
Magazines and
forever. Old newspapers.
Right.
I want to say I'm not sure, but back in Mark Twain's time, I think they used to do a lot of serial work in
and
newspapers.
I want to think Heinlein did a lot of his shorter works in magazines and stuff, and I think some of them, I might be lying, but
we might be making some of that up.
Yeah, because that's how I roll.
Fact check us. I don't know.
But yeah, so that is an absolutely new way. I just put a short story up there. I think it ended up being 6 episodes. But I've put aside a few older books that I had the rights back to that I'm tweaking and putting it up there. So I'm hoping to reach a lot of younger people.
Not that we don't love the rest of us our age and older, because we do.
Hey, the other day
we are of an age.
I went out to eat and we were getting wine, and I did not bring my ID. I feel I've reached an age where no one thinks I'm 21 anymore. And she asked for my ID, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have it.
Are you joking?
She said, if you look like you're under 40, I have to ask. And I'm like, oh, I don't have it, but I'll just drink my ice water and lemon quite happily the rest of this meal.
Yeah.
And she's like cracking up, and my daughter said, yeah, it's my mom. She brought me a wine glass. I was almost a little disappointed. So there it is.
Well, I'll tell you, you know what one of my favorite changes is, and that is indie pubbing. Because, dear Lord, I am so thankful and so so happy with indie pubbing because I am a control freak, and I love being in control of all of the different aspects of my books, from covers to titles to exactly how the story goes. And now that is not, I'm not dissing on editors, and I'm not dissing on publishing, but it's just I like that. I like that ability to have all the creative control.
Well, and I am what's known as a hybrid author these days, so I still write for publishers, and I have gotten rights back, but I've written straight up books that went straight to indie pub.
Mm-hmm.
My Made in LA, and I hope some of you are going, yay, because the new one's out just a few weeks.
I love those stories.
There's a fifth one, and frankly,
when's it coming out?
The 24th. I might be lying, but I think it's the 24th.
Cool.
I have loved working on Quincy, but I had no history in cozy mysteries. They're not huge mysteries. For me, it was more that comedic angle of it. And there was definitely romance throughout Quincy's books. And so I basically wrote it to entertain myself. And I put the first one up. To be honest, that one is, I should have done the math, but it's one of my best-selling books ever. It has sold just
Made in LA?
Made in LA. The first one was steamed.
Steamed.
Yes. And Quincy is a maid who accidentally cleans a murder scene.
And you gotta love that. Really, you gotta love that.
Oh, yeah. So it's been a blessing for me because it gave me a lot of creative freedom. And I don't think I would have stopped writing romance to try mystery because I really wasn't sure
if you could do it, make it work.
Well, if I could do it, but if readers, and for me it really is all about the readers. I don't want to annoy them, the readers. And so I've been really blessed that they've followed me from romantic comedy to more emotional books, to these silly little...
Because like we were saying in another video, it's about voice, and it's still you. You know, it is still you. It's still your stuff, but I'm bringing out Firefly Wishes, which is a re-release, and I'm really happy to put my original title back on it. You know, because to me, Firefly Wishes is just very evocative.
Well, and I had it was a romance, it was a romantic comedy, and I did it for Flipside, so like 5 people read it because the line was dying.
Because she was killing the line, see the line killer video.
If you watched Weekend at Bernie's, if you're of that age, it was my Weekend at Bernie's romantic comedy. It's a dead body, keeps disappearing, and nobody believes Marky's seeing it, and I wanted to call it Can't Find No Body, all caps. It's a romance, and yet she can't find the body. It was a great title. Do you know what they named it? I was bitter for years over this. Found and Lost. I would never use the title, so I was thrilled to get the rights back. And because like a handful, it was like a old but brand new book to 90% of the readers.
Right, because they couldn't find the book.
And I went back to the title, Can't Find Nobody, and I loved being able to do that. I've been really lucky. If you didn't know, titles, back cover blurb, the covers are generally something the publishers has control. If you're lucky, they let you have input.
And I did. I had the art department at Harlequin. They listened to my art fact sheets a lot, and I thought they did very beautiful covers. But
I've had some winners and some
the Village People come to mind.
The Village People cover. Oh, maybe I'll get Susan to put that up underneath.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find that so you can see.
I've got it. So.
The Village People cover.
Oh, it was a cover. All right. So yeah, every now and then you're like, what were they piping through the air system that day? And you were stuck because I don't have control over that.
Yep.
So that's the other plus to being an indie writer is the fact that you have control. You can work on a cover. I have a new cover I was working with someone on, and I think I drove her a little nuts. I'm like, here's what I want, and this is so close, but I don't know how to articulate
not quite it. Yeah, exactly.
She was so wonderful to work with.
Yeah.
So
well, that's what I've found is but you have to know how to work with another creative person. And again, we don't speak that same art language. So you find yourself saying, there's something not quite right about this. It's kind of, whatever. It feels a little too paranormally to me or whatever, and that's not what I'm looking for. Or you just, and so you have to also have a really good cover artist who can figure out what you're trying to say. And that's actually one of the other, like, the drawbacks of going indie is you do have to shell out all the money for these things ahead of time. You have to purchase a cover, you have to pay for editing, you have to do all of that. So that is one of the things that, even though it's an ebook, and so you think, okay, well, there's no printing costs or anything involved, there's plenty of costs, even for an indie pub, to put something out there. So bear that in mind when you're looking at books.
There you go.
And so things have changed. They're going to keep changing, and the only thing we can do is stay on our toes and adapt and change along with it, because if we want to be in this for the long haul, that's what we have to do.
There you are. You're a working writer, and that, with all the changes, has been something I really, this is what I want my job to be. And if this is my job, it's like working in an office and getting a new spreadsheet system or whatever, something new you have to learn to adapt to. It's very much the same thing in writing. And if you're like, no, this stuff, I've always done it, so I'm going to keep doing it, I think you're going to lose a lot of ground now. And again, with that whole radish thing, for me, watching my kids, it makes sense. And I'm really excited. So if you have the app, check me out there.
Check her out there. And I'm going to go check out Radish myself and see what I think about that. So roll with the punches and be ready for more changes, because that's what you're going to get.